Hey everybody, my name is Rich Graham, former Navy SEAL, founder of Trident Fitness, and the creator of the Full Spectrum Warrior training philosophy. I want to talk with you for a few minutes tonight on the side of the Full Spectrum Warrior we don't tap into that often here on YouTube, not as yet, at least. But for the people who've been watching the Full Spectrum Warrior training philosophy, as most of you guys are aware, if you've been following Trident Fitness, it's firearms training, combatives and self-defense, fitness, health. That's the physical side of it. On the other side, it's more of a leadership program, and there's 9 different categories of this leadership program. But one of them we're just going to touch on briefly tonight, and the reason why is I was recently traveling, and one of our clients, was in a interesting situation, and I had the ability to have a good discussion with them for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it made an impact on the direction where he was going with his life on this particular topic. So I wanted to share it with you guys. My job isn't here to preach to you or to belittle people or anything like that. All I simply want to do is help build leaders who are leading by example, not people who lead based on positional leadership or management leadership by titles, by rank, and stuff like that. People who lead from the aspect of, I'm going to do what's right and set the bar, and others will respect me and follow me based on the decisions that I make. So I hope this talk tonight helps you guys. I hope it helps someone out there. But again, my role in telling you this story isn't to make anyone feel like an asshole or to talk down to anybody. I simply just want to share it with you, and hopefully it can impact someone out there in a positive way. So, jumping into the story, I was following training that we were doing. We went out to a restaurant, and we were hanging out. Guys were having some drinks. I don't drink, but I'm still going to go hang out with the guys after the courses. And, the guys are checking out a bunch of the girls and things like that. And you got some single guys there. You got some guys in relationships. Me personally, I'm married. One of the guys who I was sitting with had made some comments about some of the girls who were walking around. And, as he went further with his comments, he was just checking these chicks out. And he's like, oh, man, which one are you going to go after tonight? And I was like, I'm not going to go after any of them. And he's like, all right. And he had some questions. And needless to say, long story short, basically we got to a part in the night where he was getting ready to go talk to one of these girls. The one that he'd been, eyeballing. It was his favorite pick. And he was going to go talk to this girl. But he was having a little bit of reserve whether he should or not, based on the fact that he was rekindling a relationship with an old girlfriend. They had a baby on the way and stuff like that. And, he's like, yeah, I'm not really sure where we're at in our relationship. So I don't really know if it's cheating or not because of, where we are. So, and as he's getting ready to go up and talk to this girl, I just asked him, I said, hey, man, can I just ask you something? What would you do if you got back from this training trip and you found out that while we were away, she was with some guy? And he's like, oh, dude, I'd be pissed. That would be bullshit. I wouldn't be having it. I'd kick her out, all sorts of stuff, the typical reaction. So I just looked at him and I said, hey, man, to answer your question, whether you're in a relationship or not, you obviously are. Do what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, and I wasn't there to judge him or whatever. I was just pointing out something that he had asked me for an obvious answer on, and I just wanted to help him point out the obvious answer. So, in doing so, we got talking, and he was just asking me, man, you don't drink, you don't get tempted by these girls. He's like, how do you do it, man? Like, how do you look at all these hot girls? I'm just thinking, I'm not married, but, I'm kind of committed now, and it's kind of scaring me. Like, how can you not be tempted by all these women around here? There's so many hot chicks. Like, how do you do that? And And my answer to him was this, and I hope this helps someone out there. From my perspective, what I said to him, I was like, and if you guys have seen my muzzle discipline drill, right? The video when we talk about the muzzle discipline drill, you can't get in front of my gun. My gun's my responsibility. You can't make me sweep you and all that kind of stuff. I simply said to him, if you understand the spiritual warfare that's going on in your mind right now, or the spiritual warfare that's going on for your mind and to take control of your heart, if you understand what's happening in the spiritual level, it makes this way, way easier to break down why you are so tempted right now to go chase down that chick, right? So I'm in control, okay? These girls who are walking around and tempting me, they don't control the outcome of my night. I control the outcome of my night. And what I understand is the philosophy, the way we look at this is this. The devil is going to use these girls who are walking around and eyeballing me and winking and, flirty and all this kind of stuff. The devil's going to use them to try to tempt me. I'm not saying the girls are the devil. They don't know my situation. They don't know my background. They don't know my relationships. But the devil will use them to tempt me to make bad decisions and create separation in my relationships. And I'll get into that in a second. So what's going to happen is there's going to be excitement that comes with the temptation. There's excitement, right? Oh man, your friends are looking at you, the girls are checking you out, they're coming over, sitting on your lap, talking to you, and your friend's like, yeah, man, check out so-and-so, like all the chicks are wanting him, he's so cool, man, all the girls want you. And you're sitting here and your ego is just going through the freaking roof. I'm so cool, look at all the girls, they want me. Oh man, this is awesome. Totally forgetting everything else that's going on in your life. And all of your focus is right here on the person you're talking to, right? So first comes temptation. Then the devil comes and works and follows through with action. He convinces you, yeah, dude, just take her home. Like, dude, this is going to be so freaking cool. All your friends are watching. Everyone's going to think you're the coolest. You're getting the hottest chicks. And, there's all this excitement. And then you go into the action phase. And you take the girl home and you follow through with this horrible decision that you're getting ready to make, right? So now what happens is the next morning you wake up and then comes the assault. The assault, right, is the devil going, dude, what did you do, man? What did you do last night? I can't believe you actually took that girl home. Oh man, you are such a piece of shit. You are such a piece of shit. I can't believe you did that. How could you let this? You're married. You have a kid on the way. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. If people find out what you did, your wife's going to leave you. Your kids are going to hate you. Everyone's going to look down at you. Your friends and family are going to think you're a piece of crap. You can't let anyone know this. You can't let anyone know. And then what happens is, you go into the agreement phase. You go, holy crap, I am a piece of shit. And you accept it, right? You take it on. I am a piece of shit. Everyone's going to judge me. No one's going to want to talk to me. My family's going to leave me and disown me. Oh my gosh, what do? There's two choices, but most people will choose one of these two, and it's usually the wrong one, right? You can come clean, or you create lies. So what is God would want you to come clean and ask for forgiveness. The devil is going to tell you, you can't trust these people. You got to hide this, right? I have a solution. Lie about it. Just a little white lie. Just a little bit, just enough to get us by so we can figure out a game plan on all this, right? So what happens is now you go into another form of sin. You go downward spiral a little bit more, and you break off into another negative path. And these negative paths, once one comes in, you get assaulted with all of these, and this may lead to heavier drinking. This may lead to drug addiction. This may lead to seclusion, you know, not being with people as much because you're afraid that they're going to find out about the lies that you're living within, right? And what this all does is this creates separation, okay? This creates separation because now when you go home, you feel awkward around your own, you know, spouse. You feel awkward around your own kids because you look at them and you're like, are they going to see through me? Are they going to know that I'm lying? Are they going to see through this? Are they going to look at my cell phone? Are they going to see my emails? Are they going to look at photos on Facebook? Are they going to, oh, who's going to find me? So now you're consumed with all this mental energy of how to keep the lie going and how not to get caught, right? So when we understand this, it starts making the decision of what's happening around me very, very simple. Because I see how the devil's working in my life, right? So in this guy's case, here he is, baby on the way, trying to resolve this relationship, right? Now, if he goes home following all that temptation and he goes and sees his girlfriend and looks her in the face, he doesn't have to tell her what happened this weekend, but if he looks her in the face and he just knows, like, hey man, there was so many hot girls there this weekend, but I didn't do anything wrong. I stayed true to you. He can look her in the face with confidence and actually builds up his self-esteem more so than looking cool in front of his friends, you know, going home with that chick. He looks into the face of his children and he goes, I'm a good father to you. You can count on me. I'm a good father to you, and I will continue to be a good father to you. Verse looking at his wife and going, man, I'm such a piece of shit. I hope she never finds out. Looking at your kids, I can't believe I did that to you, right? The long term, it's always harder to focus on the long term that's right than it is to get into the hype of what's the short term and exciting. The short term is always going to blow up. That's why it's short term, right? That's why those, you know, live fast, die young, right? There's a reason why the die young part comes right after the live fast. So for us as being developing leaders, it's really important that we understand what's happening on a spiritual level so we can see these attacks coming into our lives and make the right decisions and lead by example. Because what's going to happen, not only does those bad decisions make separation within your at-home relationships, but they also make separation within your working relationships or within your friendships. Because now you put your friends in a very bad situation. Even if they were there encouraging the activity, what's going to happen is when you put them in that position afterwards to then have to lie to your kids and your family members and other friends who weren't there, now you're putting them in a bad position. Now you're putting all of this on them, and it creates an awkward pressure that is very unhealthy for that relationship. From a leadership standpoint, how can we potentially lead? How can people trust us and follow us if 1 minute I'm telling you you should listen to me and you know I'm the head honcho in charge and this and that, etc., and then the next minute you see, so if you watch someone who claims to be a leader go, no honey, we were watching football last night. Hey kids, did you see last night's game? That's what we were doing. We were watching football. And then you were with them last night and you see the actions that they really did and you go, wow, man. From an observation standpoint, so this guy that I just watched last night party it up and go home with this chick, and then next day, a few days later, I'm watching him look his family straight in the face, the people he's supposed to love unconditionally, right? You know, with all his heart. I watch him lie to their face without batting an eye. And now I'm supposed to trust this guy? This is the dude who's going to have my back. He will sell me out in a heartbeat because he doesn't even give a shit about lying to his own family. Why wouldn't he lie to me? Why wouldn't he throw me under the bus when the time comes? Whether he would or not doesn't really matter, because what happens now is, from my standpoint, as someone who works with him, someone who's supposed to be friends with him, someone who looks up to him, there's separation that's created in our relationship now because I go, huh, you're not that shining example that I necessarily thought you were. And now what's going to happen is it's going to inhibit his ability to lead his family, his friends, at work, etc., etc. The list goes on. When we understand where the attack is coming from, and we understand that the devil is going to use things that we think we may want, things that seem really exciting, is going to tempt us with them. He's going to get us to act on them. Then he's going to assault us for doing the same thing he just convinced us to do. He's going to assault us for it and make us feel like shit. Then we're going to agree with him, right, that we are pieces of shit, and bring our self-worth lower and lower and lower, and dig ourselves a deeper and deeper hole, which is the deeper you go, the harder it is to break out of, right? If we understand that when these challenges come to us, it is much easier to make the correct decision based on those two things. Understanding the threat and understanding where the attack's coming from. What's really happening right here? What's happening here on a spiritual level? Oh, I see what's going on. Ha, sorry, devil, you're not going to get me with that, right? And the second thing is, I know even if I don't look cool at the time, I will earn more respect from the people around me later on, right? Because those people later on will go, man, it's really cool that you don't cheat on your wife, man. That's really honorable. I really look up to that. That's cool that you do that. You'll hear that later on. You're not going to hear that really that night because it's not cool right then. But later on, people are going to look up to you for it. So last thing, just like in the muzzle discipline drill, the devil's not in control of my life. I am. When we understand the attack, it's much easier to understand the solution. So I hope that helps somebody. And if you don't like these videos, sorry, but we'll have more firearms and stuff coming and more combatives and things like that. But I also know that the leadership portion and building real leaders is just as important, in my opinion, as teaching people how to protect themselves physically. So we'll have more videos coming though with cool dog stuff and firearms and fitness and things like that. But other than that, thanks guys for watching. I hope this helps somebody.